Ladies and gentlemen, it is I, Jimmy Frey. Yes, the one that puts the fray in wrestling frame. Look, it has taken roughly 4 years, but we have finally come back to the great sports entertainment debate. But this time we have classic WWE.
Welcome, everybody.
And TKO.
Hey, how's everybody doing today?
All right, now here, this time around, we're going to be a little more structured. So, for the sake of everything going on right now, we don't want any politics. And just like last time, we don't want any profanity. And unlike last time, we're not going to have a bunch of companies butting in this time. So, are you ready for this? Now, before we get to the 3 talking points that we're going to address today, let's join the fray. Okay, gentlemen, the first talking point, we want to discuss the situation that recently happened roughly a few weeks ago with Raja Jackson at Knox Pro Wrestling. I want to know what your thoughts on that is. TKO, why don't you start?
Well, Jimmy, it's very unfortunate what happened, and that is definitely something that we don't condone. And if you may or may not know, we have released Knox Pro Wrestling from our ID program because we do not want to be affiliated with that. Okay, so I see you're not going to even discuss Raja Jackson. You just want to hold the company accountable. Okay, if you actually paid attention, this really didn't start with the beer can bashing because all that was squared over. But then a wrestler from Knox Pro got into Raja Jackson's ear and said, lay into Psycho Stu when he's in the ring tonight. That's what sparked this entire situation. It all went out of control. Oh no, I completely agree with you, but the fact that you're going to just blame the entire company and not even discuss the individual, that just tells me you did that whole thing to save face and nothing else. You know what's interesting, Jimmy? I find it very odd that my so-called predecessor is having an issue with the way I run things, knowing good and well with his track record, he probably would have had Raja Jackson and Psycho Stu at WrestleMania somehow. That is absolutely absurd. Let's see, Mike Tyson, convicted felon. You have him as WrestleMania enforcer. Pete Rose, known gambler, accused of assault a couple of times, and you had him for a running gag for 3 straight WrestleManias, and then on top of that, you added him to the celebrity wing of the Hall of Fame. Speaking of the celebrity wing of the Hall of Fame,
watch yourself. I said no politics.
No, I was referring to before.
I don't care. We're not doing that.
I would just like to add that every individual you named or about to name, whatever, these are legends and moguls, okay? People of respect. And yeah, they had complicated pasts, but who hasn't? Rest in peace to Pete Rose. Trust me, that is only because I named a few.
Okay, can we please stay on topic?
As I was saying, we condemn the entire situation because behavior like that has no place amongst wrestling and the MMA world, which I am responsible for both. I would also like to say, in spite of his asinine assumptions to what I would do in that situation, the things I do is to make compelling television, and that is all. And that right there is not what I would call compelling television. You see, you say that, yet here's the thing. Me, and I'm sure everybody out there watching, know good and well you will poke that bear at least once.
I wouldn't put it past him. Okay, I think we got to a very interesting start here. So, the next talking point I want to discuss, why do you feel that your era in WWE is superior and your counterpart just really can't match up? WWE, why don't you start this one?
Okay. Everything that you see in the WWE now, it came from the strong foundation that we built. Okay, we gave you Hulkamania, we gave you Austin 316, we gave you DX, we gave you the most electrifying superstar in sports entertainment. Like we gave all these things for the future company to build on.
You say the oldest. Oh, I know he just come out of his mouth.
During my tenure, kayfabe was alive and well, and we punished anybody who dares to shatter that illusion. But now you want to show that stuff off on Netflix like it's not a form of entertainment and all that stuff. But no, man, you gotta go back to the passion, the camaraderie that fans have when they watch us, whether they're watching us at home or whether they're watching us live and all that stuff. And on top of that, man, we have the ability to crush any competition that came up against us. Competition, might I add, if my successor had any of that, I think he would fold like a pretzel.
Yeah, I'm definitely taking offense to that.
Listen, never in my era did we have to announce the arena gate to the crowd. I mean, why would they care about any of that? Like who actually goes to the show and be like, oh, I wonder how much money that they made that they get. Nobody cares about any of that, man. And then while we're on that, let's talk about WrestleMania. WrestleMania was our brainchild. WrestleMania is a spectacle for fans all around the world. Just the anticipation of what city is going to be next so that millions of fans or thousands of fans, depending on the arena, can go and visit each site around the country. And then you bring it back to Vegas. Back to back for what? A bigger tax break? And we're not even going to talk about Saudi Arabia. But it's clear that you lost sight of what it is to feel like going to a WWE show, the passion that fans feel when they see us. No, you don't get that feeling anymore. No, everything is so corporate this, corporate that, but you want to put trademarks and logos on tables, rings, turnbuckles, all that stuff. Like, and then that stupid hydration station, like, what even is that? Like, seriously, dude. And then, what about your atrocious writing? I mean, that John Cena heel turn, well, you know what, the heel turn, I'll respect you on the heel turn, it's a heel run that was absolute trash. My era would never do anything that terrible and then don't even have a good payoff with it.
Okay, TKO, do you have a rebuttal to that?
Well, let's see. As far as arena gate numbers, we surpassed anything that you've ever done. So I understand why you wouldn't tell your fans what yours was. And then on top of that, you know what? I'll give it to you. You did lay the foundation, but you also gave us a playbook on what not to do. Let's see. Where do I start? Well, you had the steroid scandal. Oh, yeah. And then you had the Ring Boy scandal. Oh, yeah, and who could forget the plane ride from hell? And then most recently, you had the Janelle Grant lawsuit. And you know what? I know we don't have a lot of time, so for the sake of time, I'm not even going to list everything. And then you want to talk about, all the logos and product placement. But I've seen commercials before we came along. And here's the thing. I'm not knocking you for that because exposure is not a bad thing, okay? You can say all you want about the fans want this, the fans don't want that, and whatever, but at the end of the day, this is a business. So business decisions have to be made. And if you want an example of kowtowing strictly to fan service, look no further than the Rise of Skywalker. And here's the thing. I respect, and to you out there, I respect the fans' gripes and worries and all that stuff. But see, here's the thing. I also respect growth and change. And that is something that you have never fully grasped. Because look at this here. You talk about competition, or I can't crush competition. Competition for what? WWE is already a strong brand. You don't have to crush every single competition or have them out of the water. Okay, all the days about crushing competition is over when attraction marketing has so much more value. So yes, we don't have competition. We have allies, and we have strong allies out there.
You tell him, big bro. No, amito, me gusta mucho más el taqueo. Yeah, I guess we're pretty cool now.
Yeah, so long gone are your days of this so-called forbidden door. And then you want to question my booking? Let me see, let me go back. Aren't you the one that put the WWE Championship, the most prestigious title in the company, on a jobber with barely any build just so you can get into the Indian market? Also, aren't you the one that snatched Kofi right out the main event after you unceremoniously fed him to Brock Lesnar for a very forgettable match and forgettable storyline that didn't even equate to anything? And you know what? Brock Lesnar. Let's stay on that. How many times did you have to lean on Brock Lesnar and give him the WWE Championship to the point that he didn't even have to show up for work? He could be at home, Canada, wherever he lives, and have the WWE Championship there. Pay-per-views go on and he's nowhere to be found, and you do not bat an eye. Okay, so were you not complicit when the same thing was done with Roman Reigns? No, see, here's the thing. With Roman Reigns, it was not the same. I know a lot of y'all think that's Roman Reigns. It was not the same situation. First of all, Roman Reigns was a generational talent. He was up and coming. Roman Reigns was younger, and Roman Reigns had the spirit that the company was looking for at that time. So you started with Roman Reigns, so I get that. But here's the thing. We knew that his time was over. So before we even ended everything with the McMahon era, we made sure that he put somebody over, and in turn, he looked stronger in the process of doing that. So that is one wrong that you can say that we corrected. But here's the thing, man. You want to talk about Saudi Arabia, but here's the thing. Saudi Arabia started with you. Yes, it started with me, but not for WrestleMania. That's absolute blasphemy. Okay, you and y'all, word to the wise, do not take Dewey Decimal advice from the AI world. Okay, Jimmy, look. This is what I want you to do, and all y'all fans watching, I want y'all to do this too. I want everybody to take a poll of everybody who actually think that having WrestleMania 43 in Saudi Arabia is actually a good idea. In fact, I want to take a poll with all the superstars that even think that WrestleMania 43 in Saudi Arabia is actually a good idea. I guarantee you, those poll numbers will be very low. Look, I'll admit I wasn't perfect on all the decisions I made during my era, but I would never do anything to diminish the fan experience just like that. Okay. So you must be talking about the fan experience that you gave that nearly pushed almost millions of fans away, thus empowering up and coming companies like AEW. I mean, he's not wrong. And then you want to talk about my storylines being atrocious, yet you were known for ripping up storylines like the day of and changing the script right there because you had a senile senior citizen back in gorilla position that shouldn't really have been back there in the first place. And yeah, let's go back to overseas, shall we? Because you like to bring overseas up. Yeah, you had some overseas tour, but you haven't even made the impact that we've made. In fact, nobody impacts Europe like we do at all.
Just a tad bit conceited there, aren't we, bro?
And then with our partnership with AAA, shout out to AAA, by the way.
Muy apreciado.
We are making big splashes in Mexico.
Big splashes in Mexico. The loca me cose agante.
The truth comes down to this. You may not agree with how we do things, but with our results, WWE is as big and bigger than you have ever wished to be. Oh, so you mean that you're 100% debt free? Yeah, I didn't think so.
All right, gentlemen, we have made it to the very last talking point, and I would just like to know what are your thoughts and the price point on the new ESPN Plus app starting at the beginning of the next year.
I think it's an honor to be added to the ESPN Plus app because here's the thing. Regardless of what sports you watch, ESPN is literally the pinnacle of all sports information and everything. So for us to be included in that shows our growth in sports in general, not just sports entertainment. And I think this is definitely a highlight in the TKO era. Okay, it's clear that he's just going to gloss over the elephant in the room. So let me break it down. Okay, so the WWE Network. Okay. Yeah, it wasn't perfect, but it was still very revolutionary. That was a way for every fan to experience our big shows at affordable prices. Having the app, that was us going into the new age of things. Like, there's still wrestling companies out there using the $50, $60 pay-per-view format, but we made it easier for everybody to not have to pay that every time there's a pay-per-view on. And even when we moved to Peacock, everything was still affordable. And yes, I agree. Being a part of ESPN, ESPN Plus, whatever, is a big accomplishment. But that $30 price tag is ridiculous. And it's not like it's $30 now. It's going to jump up as soon as WWE is added. Now, you can't sit here and tell me that you think that this is any way to broadcast to the fans while you're trying to price gouge them in any way like that. That defeats the whole purpose of PLEs. Like, I guarantee you, you're going to have a big backlash on that $30 price tag in the long run. Well, here's the thing. One thing about WWE fans is that they're some of the most loyalist fans in the world. And we know how loyal they are because that loyalty was tested amongst all of Vince's craziness. So when they see the quality that we put on, they would know that that exceeds whatever the price tag may be. Oh, I definitely beg to differ. You know what? I give it 6 months before your pockets realize your folly. And you want to talk about quality? Oh, please, man. And how dare you call me crazy? Pretty much everything that was approved was to feed Vince's vile humor. See, that's the type of thinking that you folks have when you want to take these editors and dirt sheets at face value, and when it's just opinion pieces. I don't need to read no editorials or dirt sheets, man. All the proof was right there. Everything that you done was right there. Look, I can even sit here and list it all. Look, let's see. I know you had the Katie Vick storyline. That was terrible. What? The whole car explosion thing, the whole death thing. That so was perfect. Okay. Do I have to mention again the John Cena heel run? And then the worst thing I've ever seen. And then you had him turn back face with barely any explanation at all. And what are you doing with the New Day? Why are you breaking up if you just do whatever if you're just going to do that? And oh my gosh, just so you can stay relevant because all your stuff was just okay, all the lagging, all the bad production. Man, I guarantee you in my era, all that crap would not have happened. We would storyline that we jumped to all the money this, money that. Oh, don't worry if anything don't work. Do I even need to bring up your racial disparity throughout the years? Hey, I'm not the ones the fans are out there calling Triple K. Quiet! I tried to make this place somewhere where wrestling fans alike could come and discuss this and that. But no, all you do is bicker and complain. You think you know this, you think you know that. If one says the earth was round, the other would question it. I just try to start a meaningful conversation between two iterations of WWE. But no! All y'all want to do is fight about this, that, yes, no, all this. I put all this effort into this channel and all I do is get a bunch of crap, Jimmy. Oh Lord, the boy done lost the mind. Oh wow. Ay Dios mío. Jimmy Wakareta, no? Gentlemen, my apologies. Okay. So what I would like to do now, we already did all three of the talking points, so let's send in a positive note. So I want you to tell me what you like about the other or respect about the other and what accomplishment has made you proud about the other. So let's end it on a positive note. Okay, so I'll end by saying that what was said earlier is true. WWE has definitely laid down a strong foundation, and I mean, it's without a doubt everything that was done in the past. I mean, regardless of whether we agree with this or that, everything was built so well. It was revolutionary, and it made wrestling and sports entertainment what it is today. And I can be confident by saying, even with MMA and everything that goes further along, the excitement of all that, there probably wouldn't be if WWE didn't start off as strong as it did. And it is an honor to continue that legacy. And I do have to admit, I am very impressed with how big the company has gotten, and that is something that I did see for the future of the company. I'm proud to see it, but I must say one of the things I was most impressed with was the wonderful build and ultimate payoff of WrestleMania 40. That was definitely a spectacle worth watching. Gentlemen, I thank y'all for coming out tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, I thank you for tuning in tonight. I apologize for the crash out, but this is how it goes in the wrestling world, or sports and entertainment world, to be exact. If you like the video, please subscribe. And now, if you like what we did here tonight, and you did not see the last debate we did, it's floating somewhere on the screen here. Just click on that, check that out. I'm sure you'll get a good laugh out of it. And also, thank you so much for joining the fray. And in the comments, let me know, who do you want to see go up against who in the next video. Thanks for joining me.